Hey everybody, this is Paul, the Inventory King. Punch the subscribe button, click on that notification bell. It would be an honor to have you guys join me on my fish keeping adventures. So today we are talking about my wild caught group that I used to have of the Buccochromis Nototaenia. Now this is a group of fish that was awesome. I'm so happy that I had these fish. It was a great thing. But I learned some tough lessons. I learned some really tough lessons with these fish. First of all, they all died on me. I had some die on me randomly, and then I had one jump out of the tank. I also had some eat, and then the next morning they were dead. It was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster. So I needed to figure out what in the world happened. And it took some time, but I'm pretty sure I nailed it down as to what the issue was. So the issue was one of two things: cross-contamination, and I think I might have had a bad batch of food. One of the two. Now, as far as cross-contamination is concerned, when I say cross-contamination, I mean using one net for all my tanks in the fish room. I was using one net, and then I would rinse that net in hot water and then use it in the next net. Well, you could rinse it in hot water, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to take all of the bacteria, disease, sickness, whatever it was that got on the net. It's not going to take that away. So that led to my Madoka white lips dying. I mean, this was just a crazy thing going on. So those wild caught fish, I believe that cross-contamination is the reason why my other fish died, but I believe that those wild caught fish got some kind of parasite, and that is why they died. Now, being a wild caught fish as they were, it's going to, they're going to have more parasites than a normal tank raised fish because they come from the lake. There's a lot more that they have going on around them, so they just have more parasites. So I believe that those fish got a parasite that kind of started to surface within them, and when I tried to catch them with the net and use that net elsewhere, that's what I think caused my other fish to die. Now, I learned some valuable lessons with this. First, have multiple nets. Don't have just one net, have multiple nets, because they're inexpensive, and then you're not worrying about running the risk of using a net that you used on a previous tank in a new tank and possibly causing issues. Okay, now the other thing I learned was to use this system of bleach water and safe. So every single time I use a net, multiple nets, that net will end up in this bleach bucket, and then after it's in here and it's disinfected, then it goes into the safe bucket to be dechlorinated from the bleach, and it's safe to use. It's very important to me to do that. I'm probably a little bit over the top, but that's okay because I don't want to run into that problem I ran into before. Now, as far as the bad food, I don't know if that was it. I'm just taking a guess, because when I fed the fish, the next day one was dead. When I would feed fry the next day, or even when I was in the middle of a water change, they would die. So at the end of the day, the lessons that I learned was have multiple nets, disinfect your nets, dechlorinate your nets, and keep an eye on the expiration date of your food. Make sure that your water source is doesn't have any bacteria, chemicals, anything in it that can destroy your fish or your beneficial bacteria. Now again, this could happen with anything, but with wild caught fish, I know that they have more parasites than your tank raised fish, and I believe that because I was not careful and wasn't thinking about using multiple nets and disinfecting them, I believe that is what caused my fish room to crash, and I believe that the parasites from those fish, I believe something happened, but something must have happened with them that brought on those parasites or spiked something that caused it. Again, this is speculation. I'm just guessing. I don't know for sure. But the lesson that I learned, again, multiple nets. Disinfect and dechlorinate your nets, and check the expiration date on your food, and make sure your water source doesn't have any bacteria in it. That is it. Wanted to share this with you guys as far as what I learned. Hopefully, I won't have to run through this again. And I hope that this was an interesting video for everybody. So again, if you guys could punch the subscribe button, click that notification bell, like the video, share the video, I would appreciate that very much. Stay tanked. And these ones here are the last of the fry that were from that group. So I still have some left, which is awesome.